Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. Jurgen Klopp will not be Roma's new manager, despite the fake rumours, despite cracking codes when it comes to videos, connecting letters and connecting dots and finding hints. I want to know the name of the idiot who basically started the Jurgen Klopp rumours because he found that the sequence of images in a video that the owners had published on their social media account, which had nothing to do with the manager. I want to know who the idiot who came up with the rumor and I want to know the name of the idiot who sat down whilst taking a shit, opened his Instagram page, looked at the video that the Fredkins had published, and started going, the first letter is a K, the second letter is an L, the third letter is an O, and then it's a P because it's the Pantheon. Surely your next manager is Jurgen Klopp. This fan base, the majority of this fan base is far too easy to get played with. And it's one of the problems. One of the problems is exactly this. We always, and sometimes I do this myself, but I tend to learn from my mistakes. I was 16 years old when the Ronaldo rumors, do you guys remember the Cristiano Ronaldo rumors back a few years ago? And I remember it was July, and of course my school had finished. I literally spent my day doing nothing. And I remember that somebody had launched the Ronaldo rumors, and I literally spent my entire 24 hours reloading the Google page and the Google News to see at what time Ronaldo had been planned to present at the Stadio Olimpico. I don't believe in anything from that because the amount of time, the amount of waste of time, the amount of bullshit that gets said week in and week out around this football club is something unmatched. We have been linked in this manager hunt. We've been linked with about 34 different managers, and that's not an exaggeration. 3 days ago, it was all about Gasperini. Gasperini is your next manager. Yesterday, everyone's saying Klopp. Klopp's your manager. Klopp. Somebody yesterday at 10 p.m. wrote on a pretty reliable source that Klopp has said yes to Roma the day before, and that Klopp had said yes to the Fredkins. So yesterday, it was all about Klopp. Today, all of a sudden, it's all about Nuno Espirito Santo. It's either, there were two solutions, there were two paths here. Either the Fredkins still don't know who is going to be the Roma manager. So, I mean, it's simple. It's either path A, that they still don't have a manager and they still don't have an idea of who it's going to be, or it's either path B, which is that nobody knows shit. There is no path that actually mixes between these two. We're at the stage where in 4 days our season ends because we've got our last game week. We're in a situation where we knew, this board knew that they had to change manager 7 months ago. So they had 7 months to start speaking with managers, contact managers and everything. If the 20th of May, we still get linked with managers after managers after managers, it either means they still don't know who it's going to be, or it either means everybody doesn't know shit. And it's a secret name that is going to be announced at time due. And I want to speak about the Klopp rumours that had been launched yesterday. But I also want to move forward and go, because, I'm expecting an announcement. Jokes aside, I am expecting an announcement in 7 to 10 days. And that's not even me asking much. Our season ends in 5 days. I think by the start of next week, even end of next week, but next week, we need to know who the manager is. Because we have pre-season in a bit, and we have to plan this preseason, and we have to plan our transfer window. So my take on this is that they either don't know who it is, that they either don't know where to navigate with this manager idea, because if they still don't know who it's going to be, then, it's very, 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 very sad and ridiculous. or everyone that says things and writes articles on newspapers and talks about, these sources and rumors every day doesn't know anything. It's either of the two. It's either of the two. Of course, I only trust Fabrizio and Di Marzio. Fabrizio said that Klopp rumours are fake this morning, and Di Marzio keeps on saying how Roma's first pick is Gasperini. Despite Ranieri saying no, that it's not going to be Gasperini, and despite Gasperini a few days ago saying that he's not going to go to Roma, but Di Marzio is insisting that Gasperini is Roma's first pick. And in fact, Di Marzio is insisting on these rumours despite the fact that Atalanta have proposed a contract extension to him. So, look, I'm genuinely fed up. I'm genuinely tired of these rumours. I am. We're at the stage where we just need to know, and we deserve to know. And the reason, I think one of the reasons as to why nobody seems to have a clear direction is the fact that the Fredkins have got this policy that they don't speak. One of the issues of this philosophy that they follow of not showing their faces, not saying anything, is exactly this. It leaves the fans with so many questions that everyone starts spitting names and throwing random names to try and link with Roma. So I'm not saying that journalists can't do this. It's their job. I mean, they get paid for clickbait and hype and all of it. And I'm not saying that no journalist is correct. I mean, they've linked us with about 34 managers. It's a statistical, empirical fact that we're probably going to get one of these 34 managers because we've been linked with every manager available. So there is probably going to be, if you trace it down when we will know who it is, we'll probably go, oh, well, we were linked with him. Yes, but there is no clear indication. We're just throwing names. We're just trying to hit the bullseye with the dart. But we just can't get to the bullseye, so we're just throwing darts at it constantly. And I think this is exactly what is happening right now. Nobody knows anything, either because they're keeping it very secret or because they really don't know who it's going to be, and they still haven't blocked the manager. Or, all the names that we've been linked with are pointless. I mean, this afternoon, 2 hours ago, Matteo Moretto said that Roma proposed a 2-year deal to Nuno Espirito Santo. I mean, am I supposed to believe that Claudio Ranieri said to the Fredkins, Nuno Espirito Santo is a consideration? I'm not buying that. I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm not. There is no world where I see Claudio Ranieri sit down at a table and go, Dan, one of the managers that I would consider is Nuno Espirito Santo. I'm not believing in that. Then again, Nuno might become our manager. I don't know what to say, but I can't make it fit together. Ranieri sitting down with Ghisolfi next to him, with Ryan Fredkin in front of him who will take the decision and put the money, and Ranieri and Ghisolfi going to Ryan going, you know what, actually Nuno Espirito Santo isn't bad. Because it's just not a name that Ranieri would pull out of the hat, if you see what I mean. Going back to the Klopp rumours yesterday, as I said at the start, I want to know who that idiot is who had to exactly code breaking, change the. I don't even blame the guy. It was actually quite smart of him to come up with such a theory, but I want to know what the guy was thinking and what the guy was doing when all of a sudden, by looking at that video, I mean, how on earth do you look at that video and link it to Klopp? It's so stretched that you need massive skills. I mean, the guy must be a pro, as I said yesterday, a pro escape room player, because imagine escaping from an escape room with that guy who connected Jurgen Klopp to the video because Colosseum in German starts with K, and the Colosseum was the first pick. Not even in 007 movies you see such skill and logical code breaking. So the Klopp rumours were never real. We're never going to be real. Now, then again, I am not excluding the option that the new manager will be out of the bloom. That's something that I'm not going to exclude, because I think if there's one thing that the Fredkins do very well is catch you out of surprise. So, you know, the idea of them all of a sudden announcing Klopp, I could have bought you the argument. I could have bought you the idea and the methods of announcing it, catching everyone out of surprise like they did with Mourinho. No one linked us with Mourinho. You know, in 24 hours, they announced him. So I don't even think it's the conception of announcing a big manager like this. It's just the logic behind it. You know, Klopp is under a contract at Red Bull. Klopp has said multiple times how he's not even sure he's going to get back to managing. You know, and then the article that launched the Klopp rumours yesterday evening wrote that Klopp had said yes to Roma at 22:57 p.m. the day before. And then in the same argument, in the same article, La Stampa wrote that Klopp had actually asked for his first signings, and some of these signings were like Leone from Cagliari. It just doesn't make sense. As I said before, the idea of catching the fans out of surprise, it has happened already, so we can't exclude it. You know, we can't exclude the fact that they are going to get a manager that, you know, nobody wants, that nobody knows about, and then announce it. This idea, I'm not excluding. It could happen. They did it with Mourinho. They did it with Dybala. They even did it with Lukaku. And Lukaku was a big signing for us. So it's in their skills. They do this. But it's just Jurgen Klopp. Why would he go to Rome? Like, it was never going to connect. It was never going to connect the dots. And now we're here this morning with Klopp's agent and Fabrizio Romano going that the rumours were fake. And so many fans fell in this trap. So many fans got disappointed. And that's the issue. It gets you disappointed because you get so hyped up that the following day, whenever you read the word fake, you're like, oh my God, why did I even believe in these rumours? I'm such an idiot. And it kind of plays with your expectations as well. Because imagine all of those fans yesterday that got baited by this rumour, and they went to bed with Jurgen Klopp in their minds, fist bumping towards the Curva Sud. And then let's say that, you know, the next day, today, they said that these rumours were fake, and you're very disappointed because you had got your enthusiasm and hype going. And then let's say they appoint Nuno Espirito Santo, you're like, oh my God, I thought it was going to be Klopp. And it has repercussions on the fans' mentality and on the fans' expectations. These rumours are traps. These rumours are true once in 99 chances. Rumours like the one. And the other thing that doesn't make sense, if they were going to sign a big manager to the calibre of Jurgen Klopp, they were never going to leak it. That's the other thing which doesn't make sense. If they are going to announce a big manager, you better know that you will never know. And that you will only know whenever they announce it. Because there is no way that the Fredkins call Klopp, the Fredkins want to hire Klopp and leak the information to the media. So you just know that whenever the media says and speaks about a big manager, you know that it's fake. Because it's only going to happen when it catches you out of surprise. At least that's what the Fredkins do before. So that's my... I don't want to focus on the manager this week because we've got one game left and it could change your season, and we are playing about everything we're playing everything in 90 minutes, of course, with the Juventus game. So I think these next 6 days, the manager is not important because we've got one more game. But starting from Monday, the manager hunt and the manager saga is going to speed up, and it's going to become way warmer. And if by next week we don't announce the manager, it's not good, because it means you still don't have him. And all of those planning and organization went out of the window. Another thing that I saw today is Ryan Fredkin tried to convince Ranieri one more time to stay. Ranieri followed with a no. I hope that's fake. I hope that is fake, because if that rumor is true, it defines from top to bottom how ridiculous you are and how bad you are at navigating in this ocean. If it is true that the 20th of May, Ryan Fredkin has asked Ranieri once again in order to change his mind, it's ridiculous. I hope that rumor is fake, because it means if you've asked Ranieri today, Mister, can you stay one more season? It means that you genuinely don't know what you're doing. It means that you don't know who to get. And it means that you're navigating this ship without a compass and you don't know where you're going. If you have asked Ranieri to stay the 20th of May, 8 times after he said, no, I'm ending his career, 7 months after you knew that the second you appointed Ranieri, you had to change manager at the end of the season, then it would be the most ridiculous thing ever. I hope that this rumor of Ryan Fredkin trying to convince Ranieri today is false. Because if it's true, then our manager will be announced in August if we continue on like this. Ibrahim, thank you for the super chat. I hope that Didier comes back again. Right, I'm going to read a few comments. I thought that there was a real inquiry about the Fredkins. I think Didier with Ranieri as consigliere is the best low-cost option. Well, you know me. I think bringing De Rossi back is one of the best options. I'm not going to put it, despite being a passion merchant, I'm not going to put it as the best option, because the best option is Klopp, the best option is other managers. But it would be a logical thing to do, because first of all, who wouldn't love to see Daniele and Claudio work together? And number two, this is De Rossi's team. Some of the players that are currently in the team, that are currently playing and performing very well, are players that De Rossi asked for. So it would mean continuing something that had abruptly been interrupted. So bringing De Rossi back would be one of the smartest things to do, and probably one of the best things to do. It won't happen because they don't have any dignity and they will not fall back in their own mistakes. So it won't happen, Who is the most realistic coach according to you? One with which you will be happy and one with which you will be angry. There are managers which I don't want because I don't necessarily like their personality. But I also believe that you can't judge a manager based on his personality. For example, I'll give you the Gasperini example. I can't stand the guy. I cannot stand Gasperini. I can't. I hate him. I hate him with all my heart. But if I need to snub Gasperini because I don't like his personality and because I hate him, but then I snub Gasperini to get... Give me an example. Montella. I always stick to this example. Then it's a bad move because it's not beneficial to the club, because Gasperini is a better manager than Montella. If you see what I mean. There are managers which I want more than others because I strongly believe that they belong in a team like Roma with a passionate fan base and everything. Allegri. People don't like him. I think Allegri would be perfect, but Allegri won't happen. Di Marzio has said no. I believe that I'll say this again because maybe there are new people watching this. I belong maybe to the minority, but I will say it again. I belong to the minority of fans that want a strong personality but not great tactics, rather than a great tactician but somebody who doesn't have a strong personality. Because if you don't have a strong personality at this football club, you will disintegrate like a rock in a river. And that's the sad truth of working around the Roma environment, and especially being the manager of AS Roma. And it's not a surprise that the managers which succeeded at this football club are only managers with big personalities. You know, tacticians, emerging managers, modern managers don't work at Roma. You need somebody who kind of, you know the word aura? You need somebody with aura. You need somebody who the fans will respect. Because the second the fans lose the respect, you're gone. You're gone. You're disintegrated. So if you ask me who I want a big personality. Somebody who steps in and goes, I can lead this club to success. Somebody who won't bend down like an idiot to the media, to the fake news, to the pressure. Somebody who won't bend down to the pressure from the fans because the fans will put you pressure. An Allegri, a Mourinho, a Klopp. Yes, I'm asking a lot. I am. A De Rossi. Somebody who knows how to stand up. A Raja Nainggolan, but manager. That's who I want. Somebody who doesn't give a shit. Somebody who sits down stands on that touchline and not only knows what to do, but isn't skeptical. Like, I want to do this and I believe that I can do this type manager. That's who I want. And that's who I think we all want. Conte. That's who I want. Yes, Conte. But Conte won't come. These are the managers that I want. Yes, I'm asking a lot. It's like asking to become a billionaire, but these are the managers which I see the best at Roma. Then of course you can get the Nuno Espirito Santo, but it wouldn't excite me. It wouldn't be the best option. It wouldn't. I can't believe that you're gonna manage this so good. What are you on about, mate? Mate, it's fake news. I'm not sure if you understood. I don't want Didier. He should go to a lower team and get more experience, says Chris. Nuno Espirito Santo now in the rumor. How do you rate him? Well, he's like, in terms of playing style, if there is anybody here who wants and is a big believer of good playing style, then you don't want Nuno Espirito Santo. Nuno is about, haram ball. So I haven't really seen much of him to judge. Yes, okay, Forest have done great this season, but there's such an ocean between the expectations of being the Forest manager and the expectations of being a Roma manager. And I'm not just saying this because of, if there's a Forest fan watching this, you'll go, who do you think you are? We won a Champions League back in the medieval ages. You didn't. I'm not comparing the clubs. I'm comparing the pressure. Roma is one of the most complicated environments to work in. It is. So anyone who doesn't know who they're coming towards is going to flop. That's why you need a big personality. What's your name? Simo. Do you think Nuno Espirito Santo will be good? I don't know. But I don't think he's the perfect manager. Allegri is a good option, but he's in talks with Napoli, which I'm surprised since Conte did an alright job for the first season. Thoughts on Farioli? Well, he did bottle it pretty big. In the Dutch league. And I saw the videos of him crying. I felt bad a bit, but yeah, he's not my first pick. I mean, Farioli would be like... Farioli would be like the emergency manager signing. But again, if we need to get Farioli, and then I'll end it, I promise, I'll end it here. If we need to get Farioli, if we need to start an entire project around Farioli, an emerging manager who is not experienced, who just bottled a 9-point lead in the Dutch league and lost the league title. If I need to do this, then I always trace back to September. Why can't I simply accept my mistakes and bring De Rossi back? Appointing Farioli, okay, I can understand it. But you already have a manager under contract who is the same project as Farioli, who you've built a team around and sacked after 4 games. So I'm like, why can't I just bring him back? Why can't I just write a letter going, I accept my mistakes. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. You can even blame Lena when writing that letter. I fell in the trap of that lady. I made a mistake in believing her and in giving her a lot of power. We bring De Rossi back and we end it there. So if I need to bring Farioli, or if I need to bring give me another man, even De Zerbi. Okay, De Zerbi is more experienced than De Rossi, I know, and I will give you that. But if I need to start all over again, why can't I just bring De Rossi back? And the answer is because these guys don't have any dignity. Because if they had dignity, they'd have brought him back the following day, the 19th of September. But I'll end it there. I mean, we'll see what it is. We get linked with everyone. I'm fed up of this saga. We've got one more game to go, so focus, shift on that. And then by next week, we'll probably know who the manager is. Hit the like, subscribe. 100 likes would be great. Hit the like button. Let me know down below. First of all, if you fell in the Klopp rumours. And number 2, who you think will be your manager. And when you think your manager is going to be announced. My prediction is like Friday next week. Catch you tomorrow. Hit the like. Have a good evening. And I will talk to you soon. Simo out.